Hello, everyone. I am again with Lopes, a spiritist from Brazil, and also from Payam, Khavari, which we are going to listen about the justice of God and also about the manifestation of God. So we are going to listen to his message because he's still not here, but eventually he will come. But still, we can use technology as if he was here. So I am playing this, and after we discuss on the points that he put beautiful there. Okay, ready? So what's let's do this. Just confirm that you are listening, okay?
Um,
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Good.
my dearest friends, I'm sorry that
Sorry.
from the conversation, but there were some intense days and busy. However, I really appreciate your passion in discussing matters to clarify more and more for ourselves and understand better what is around us. At this point, I would like to make a couple of points very briefly. One is about this idea of justice of God that comes back again and again. As I understand it, the justice is not about everybody having the same thing, but is about what we do with what we have. So from someone who's given more is asked more, and in general, this is what I understand a measure of justice. However, the divine justice is so complex, and the justice of God is so far beyond our understanding that we cannot even question it because we don't know the complete picture. We see just our partial understanding of reality. That is why we see poor, rich, this, that, and the other. The justice of God is beyond human understanding in its totality. So we need only to, this idea is that if we understand the superiority of God, then we need to rely and trust that what happens has a just and fair reason about it. This is one point that I really would like to make. The other point is about this idea of how do we understand a manifestation of God is a manifestation of God and is not just a, let's say, intellectually or spiritually superior or more developed human being. Baha'u'llah himself has given us clues into this. There are several factors that he said that are important in this, and we can understand that, and we can recognize the manifestation of God. Otherwise, if we cannot understand, then what is the purpose of the manifestation of God? After all, we need to recognize these beings, so they need to be recognizable by us. Otherwise, they would not have been of any use for us. So he says that there are several factors. One factor is that the manifestations of God, they're all prophesied, and they prophesize. What does it mean, this one? This means that in the past scriptures, in the Bible, in the Gita, in the Quran, in the Old Testament, there's always reference to the next manifestations of God. Of course, it is not very plain. It is written there, and if one wants to investigate, can find it. And there is reference to the coming of Baha'u'llah in all the past manifestations. And this can be verified, and there are, let's say, the year of the appearance and what is the context, and all this is already in the Bible and the Quran. And if one wants to investigate impartially can find reasons of that. The second element in the recognition of the manifestations of God is that their life, the life of these special beings, are reflect in their totally and 100% what is their mission and what they proposing. So if we study the life of Buddha, of Moses, of Jesus, of Muhammad, of Baha'u'llah, we can find exactly that their life reflects totally what they say. So what they say and how they live is the same thing. And then another sign, which it's something that can help us to recognize them, is their word, what they bring to us. So the words that the manifestations of God utter, and it's written down, it is a testimony to their authenticity. This is why, after millennia, we still rely on Gita, we still rely on the Bible, we still rely on the Quran, and many other holy texts of the manifestations of God. A fourth sign that Baha'u'llah says is that the manifestations of God have a claim. They say, I am representing God. So they have a clear claim. They're not just saying that, I have this information, I want to give it to you, but they are saying that the divine reality has instructed me precisely to convey to you this right now. I am representing him. So if you look properly in history, there are not many people who have this claim also. So with these clues, we can recognize the manifestations of God if we have an impartial eye and we want to discover how the manifestations of God are. And of course, this is very important for us because this makes the whole idea of the validity of the manifestations of God something that every human being can recognize by himself. And this is very important because, after all, we are asked of our own deeds and understandings, not of others. So this is something that we need to really be aware of. I look forward to our next conversation about whatever topic that you would like to talk about. And thank you for listening to this a little lengthy message. Wishing you a wonderful day. God bless you.
Hello, Payam. Ah,
What a surprise listening to myself.
yeah, now you're becoming famous, right?
Nice to see you, Alex.
Huh?
Wonderful to see you, yes. And
Yeah,
Ari.
yeah. Because I was meditating before and I said, he's not here, but we can still have him here. So why not use
Sorry.
the tool?
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And you explained it well. Why should I make you repeat it? It was exactly how it's meant to be. So in my terms, I highlighted the justice of God, and you said it clearly. What we do with what we have. So that is very important. And also, when we go into the manifestation of God, how we identify the four signs, which are that they were prophesied and they prophesied, and their life is a reflection of their words, and it's 100% pure. So their work written in words, like the Bible and the Gita and the Quran, and their claim that I am. So I would let Ari also to go in his terms. So I leave some space to you, Ari. I know that you love to speak. So please.
Okay. Once in time, again, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you, Alex, Payam, and it's a pleasure to me. Well, first of all, it's good to hear Payam because his spoke is full of kindness, and it's very good to talk about spirituality without no afraid of maybe uh, some circumstances when and commonly people have many problems to speak about because sometimes we see so many uh, fanatism, and it's very terrible. And here we can talk easily, we can talk truly in friend. We are in friends, and it's very good to me, especially because I don't know Baha'i faith, and I appreciate to know these new ways of like to see the life is very interesting. I love to knowledge. I love new experiences. Of course, I have my conception, I have my ideas about spirituality. I profess spiritism as my faith, not exact faith, a blind faith, but a faith according my consciousness. So uh, even I say I'm spiritist, but I have my mind very open. I have open mind to see new possibilities, and you gave me new possibilities to see. Uh, uh, Talking about the Baha'i faith, and I'm surprised because the Baha'i faith doctrine is very kindness, uh, no no prejudice about the other faiths. It's very interesting. And of course, because I'm taking contact with Baha'i faith through kindness people, Alex and Payam. So it's very good. Uh, about the Payam audio, he's completely right when he say and when he says that the justice of God is beyond our possibilities. Yes. So it's impossible to talk about to define God, to give a concept of God. God is it's very different of very beyond too beyond we can talk about. But uh, we have consciousness, we have our intelligence, we have our possibilities to think in logical terms, and we can't achieve the God sense. But with the logical, with the rationality that we have now, we can start to think about God. It's not it's not the final, it's not the finish, it's not the complete knowledge about God, but we can try. We can try on to understand the justice of God, etc. And uh, uh, when I said that, um, I think I think it's not natural to think to understand uh, a different a different being in the creation, like the manifestation of God. is a different being. In my opinion, I'm thinking according to the human logic, human logic. So let's think. I have 3 boys. I have children, 3 boys. So I love them. Even each one is so different from one to another. But as a father, I love them equally, with equally. So in my mind, is it's impossible to admit that for example, I create a special uh, a special kind, a special boy, uh, uh, a special son. For example, one son full of uh, intelligence or or each one or everyone quality, depressing the others. So to me, it's don't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Uh, and but when people talk about this equality or no equality in the world, because we see so many people intelligent and others stupid. Someone is very beautiful, handsome, etc., and another is ugly. Someone is healthy, and another is sick, and etc. So many difference around the world among one to another person. It's very strange to think why did God create someone in this condition and bad in good conditions and another one in bad conditions. So in terms of logic, we can think in these terms. But when I carry when I understand the spiritist doctrine, I could see according to my logical, the rationality, I could I really see the justice of God, considering the reincarnation, and each incarnation like an special experience and poorness or richness, and so many conditions. Someone and in this life, I'm a man. Another one, I was a woman. I will be a woman again, and we can alternate these situations, because I see in each one experience in reincarnation, I have so many things to learn, and like a man, like a woman, like a rich, like a poor, etc., etc., etc. So it's very interesting when uh, uh, and we think about this equality, because we see that and everything God has a purpose for our lives, and and it's not a random uh, definition of the nature. We are uh, uh, I am here like I am because God has a purpose to me in this condition. I was born in the correct family, in correct time, in correct condition, according my necessities for my evolution. But let's hear our friend Payam.
May I put a question to Payam as well? While Eri was speaking, I have this question for Payam as well. How can we love three different children equally?
It's very interesting, this question of loving. Now, in this case, Eri kindly was talking about his boys and how he loves them the same. I mean, as a father, I can totally resonate with him. Our love is the love that we have for all of them. However, because of their needs, we give them different things. So this idea of equality and the idea of loving someone translates into difference. So whatever is given and whatever is expected. So I'm sure that Eri, in his loving manner of being a father, does not expect the exact same thing from the three of them. He understands the difference between them, their capacities and their differences, because each one is different from the other. And he expects, or he approaches them in the way that is more, let's say, how can we say, is more suitable to their character, to their capacities in each area. Because let's say, now let's make an example. We have areas of logic, areas of artistic reasoning, and things like that. Now, some are better in one area, are stronger in one area than the other areas. So it is only natural that we expect that someone who's has a talent as an artist to draw better than someone like me who doesn't have that. So we cannot say, oh, okay, so this is kind of injustice, but we understand that. So and it's very interesting because this idea of loving two people the same came up with the idea of polygamy. In some religious traditions, polygamy is admissible, kind of. And when they asked Abdul Baha about that, Baha'u'llah has set a condition. He said, okay, you want to marry more than one wife? If you love them the same, you can do that. Then I asked Abdul Baha, I said, what does Baha'u'llah meant? Abdul Baha very kindly explained that it's impossible to love two people exactly the same. So therefore, having an impossible condition is impossible to have more than one wife. So, which means that this, marriage is between one, and there isn't a polygamy is not allowed. And he explained that this has always been like that for God, because God intended us to be like this. So, in my understanding, it's impossible to love exactly in the same way the two people, but that doesn't mean that we prefer one to the other. This is not a preference. This is understanding, actually. This is the love. Our love, for example, if I know that one of my daughters needs me to explain 3 times something, and the other one only one, I'm not going to, in my love, I would explain 3 times to one and 1 time to the other. The same, and it's going to be the same. It's not any difference, because this 3 times or because 1 time. But treating the same, it means that I either explain 3 times to both, or I explain only 1 time to both. So treating equally and loving equally, and which is the outcome, it's a bit paradoxical. You know what I mean? So in this way, my understanding is that it's a bit difficult, if not impossible, to love two people at the same way.
You want to speak?
Alex, you want to say something else?
Yeah, I want to be. Yeah, because I love to envision while you speak. It's for me, this is a very beautiful meditation. Because I vision a Native American who is we when we see this person who is lives like in a jungle, and we say, oh, this man is poor, and I don't want to be there, you know, living in the trees. So one day this native man decided to go and accept an offer to go to the city, and he went. And eventually what happened is that he so, through social through his social circle, he became like them, and he became sick. Once he became so sick, he decided to go back to the trees, to his community, and to tell them that you should never go in the city, because in the city there is sickness. So this is something that is important to understand, that we look at poverty in a certain sense of materiality, poor from materiality. It doesn't mean the person is sick or worse. Some people who have much wealth are more sick than people that are poor. So this is something that we need to understand, that the balance is achieved in a different way. It doesn't mean that you are poor, you are bad, or you are in a bad position, or you are wealthy and you are good. So this is something that what Payam said is, it depends on what we have, right? And then we do accordingly. So that is something that once you have this, then what can I do with this? This is my responsibility to understand how can I use this for the betterment of the world. Please, Harry.
Yes, very good. One thing that I think it's very important to understand here when we are using comparison, comparing someone to another one. As I said, one child, one child to another child, etc. Or maybe because we are living in a mature world, and almost everyone just think about this reality in the physical reality, physics reality. So some people normally think, I am my body, I am beautiful, I'm strong, I'm ugly, etc. I am American, I am European, I am this matter in general terms. But in this case, people usually compares itself himself with another one according the material value. For example, how much money do you have? Uh, 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 your money say who you are, but it's very terrible. It's materialist. Well, but when I as we spiritualists, like we are, we think very different, because the value, the measure, is not a physical thing, it's not a material thing, but spirituality. It's, I like to call the spiritual force, because each spirit has a specific a specific level of force according his evolution. And when talk about equality and justice of justice of God, we have think that the the condition, the hierarchy today is not static, is not fixed, and it means you are not who you are now in fixed. In Portuguese, it's interesting because in Portuguese we have the verb to be. In English, is in Portuguese we have two different verbs to speak about to be. In Portuguese, I see I am, eu sou, is different from eu estou. So the verb to be in Portuguese is ser e estar. Ser and estar. Ser, the verb ser, to be in English, is like I am just as I am. I am. My essential is, in Portuguese, is ser, the verb ser. And to be, estar, in Portuguese, is different. To be, estar, it means I am here in this condition now. So, but when I say I am here, is different to be I am eternally. It's very different. It's not, maybe it's very difficult to understand, but it is important to this because when I say in Portuguese, I am in this level of the evolution, it means that I'm not I will not be here eternally, because I'm graduate and I'm go up. So it means, what I want to say, that I am in this condition now, but I know that there is a better version of me in the future that I will achieve. So I can progress, I can evolve, and to achieve these new conditions. And one day, and it's very beautiful in Spiritism, because in the beginning we are created in the same conditions, from the zero. No intelligence, nothing. You are like a blank page. No. But everyone will cross the evolution, and one day everyone will achieve the same condition, the perfection. Not the complete perfection, because the complete perfection, only God is the complete. But under God, below God, everyone will achieve this condition. So what we want to do, we want to think that we can be better, we can grow up, we can progress, we can achieve the perfection, and one day everybody will be in the same condition. But according to time by time, when I will be a professional spirit, I will see that there are so many spirits still in evolution. So the Spiritism says that the great mission, the great job, the superior spirits, is to help them, to help the others, and there's no like the mythic paradise when people are in the heaven, just just watching the time passing by. There's no. So the in spiritism we see the heaven like uh the heaven inside inside yourself. Peace and uh, conf, uh, confidence and completely goodness, etc., and desire to serve, desire to job and the God's work. So Baha'i faith uh, has a different uh, classification. In Baha'i faith, God, human being, and between the manifestation of God. Well, maybe to me is a little is is a little strange to think someone created in good conditions from the 0 point. No problem. Let's think about and let's consider if this is the truth. That's okay. God God know the better of everything. So let's do. And this is a point that this point doesn't break uh, our our understanding. So no problem about us and considering this point. So let's think this. Um, the most important thing, I guess, is to understand that we can grow up, we can achieve the perfection, and we can do much more we do now.
Well, I will leave to Payam, but I just want to say this. When you were describing that we need to look into the spirit, this and disregard actually the body, whatever the body, male or female, beautiful or not beautiful, whatever. And I was envisioning an episode in my life. I was in a hurry, and my daughter was 2 years old, and eventually she painted something very simple. I wasn't there, but my wife Chantel showed me, look at this, is it beautiful? And it was so much like uh, I am a very perfectionist guy, and the first thing that I said in my mind, I don't like that. And my wife told me, she's only 2. And while I was like running, I stopped and I was almost crying because I didn't I looked into the picture, and when I went inside and understood the spirit, a very young spirit, you see beyond what is there. So even though what are you seeing, maybe you don't like it, the surface, but when you go inside the surface, that is what we are trying to look here. Even in the manifestation of God, we are going to look not at the image, like the portrait of the person, actually. Baha'u'llah, and I believe even the Quran, it's important that we don't focus on the face like we do in Christianity. Disregard the face. The face is not important. It's the word, it's the action, is what we eventually are trying to tell you. I love you with this image. with this maybe not so beautiful picture, but that is how I share this with you. Yes, beautiful. So, Payam, to go inside the manifestation, you mentioned 4 points, and I would love to have the opportunity to discuss with this, because you mentioned if we put on the first sign, you say that all were prophesied, and they also prophesied, right? Can you share with us something that maybe can help us and the people that are listening or seeing this better, please?
Well, I think if we look at the Christian, let's say, understanding of the Bible in Christianity, there is Jesus refers to the time when he will be back and talks about his father and all this. And there is a precise way. Now, I don't want to go into details, but there is a way that to really and truly calculate the year which Jesus is talking about coming back. In fact, there were the German Templars. This was a Christian branch that studied the Bible, and they came to a conclusion that Jesus will appear in the year 1844 on the Mount Carmel, at that time in Palestine. So what they did, they were so sure about this because this was in the Bible. They left their homes. They went on the foot of the Mount Carmel in Palestine at that time, and they built houses, which are still there. And at the top of these houses, you can see it says God is near and things like that. So in a way, in the Bible, in the Quran, and in other holy texts, there is a precise indication to the time that the next manifestation of God comes. In the Quran, there is a talk about the year 1260 and so on and so forth. So this is because, if we are asked something, God is not leaving us alone. It's like saying, you need to discover something that is not possible to discover. It would be pure cruelty. So the clues have been given to us in all the manifestations of the past, and they refer to the next one coming. And there was a reference to the coming of Baha'u'llah too, because the coming of Baha'u'llah signals a passage from the childhood of humanity to the adulthood of humanity. So this is the magnitude of the change is such that, in a way, to symbolize that, this is one thing that you were asking in one of your audio messages, was about this. There was a time of prophecy, and so the prophesizing of the time will come when Jesus was saying the lamb and the wolf will lay together and stay together, which means that enemies will be in peace. So which means that there will be real peace together, and we'll put aside our baser instincts that the wolf and the sheep, they all had, and we'll have that. So this is the coming of Baha'u'llah. So that is the prophecies. We can, if we want, we can one time really go into detail, I don't know, in the Bible, in the Quran, and see exactly how we can see this and things like that. But it's suffice it to know that if we want to know, if we want to discover, it's possible to find that in the holy books, because that is the way that it's a help for us to be able to understand when the manifestations of God come. And that is not a guess, it's an exact time, because it's very interesting. The time is something peculiar to this
physical world, as we always said. In the spiritual worlds, there isn't time and space. So therefore, this idea of time pertains to the human beings that are in this physical reality, or as the spiritists call it, the incarnate, and which are here, and those who have passed already to the spiritual world. So basically, what happens is that this time frame is to help us, that we are here and we're going through this journey to recognize the manifestation of God. But then, obviously, in the spiritual worlds, there is no time and space. But just allow me another something else that was beautiful that Eri was saying. This about in Portuguese, there are these two verbs which are very interesting. One is describing the condition. I am a human being. I am, right? And the other one is describing my state as a human being. I am a 5-year-old. I am a 10-year-old. So this is the same thing in spiritual reality. Actually, it's very interesting how the physical reality is a clue to the spiritual reality. We all start our journey from one cell that fertilizes an egg. That one cell, which is one cell for everyone, divides in 4, and so on and so forth. Then there is Eri, there is Alex, there is millions and billions of people on the earth, which none of them is equal to the other. All the DNAs are unique, no matter how we start with the same cell. So in a way, what Eri was describing, that we are like blank paper, we're all the same at the beginning, is so true, because we are given the spirit, which has a lot of potential, like that. That first cell has so much potential. And then you, Alex, were talking about your daughter, a 2-year-old, which making this drawing, and you're saying, and she's 2-year-old. That's right. That's her condition, and that is wonderful. But that this 2-year-old in 20 years' time, Alex, is going to be an amazing being with such complex abilities and capacities that we will be. I'm always amazed when I look at my daughters, how wonderful beings they are, and how see things differently from me. And sometimes one comes really to tears to listen to them and look at them, how they go through life. And it's really beautiful and amazing, which is very true, that we start all journey. So in a way, it's true. We start our spiritual journey also all the same, which we have been given this opportunity to grow. Now it depends on us. And then it's very interesting that also in terms of spiritual reality and the spiritual qualities that Eri was talking about, we all have unique DNA and unique combination of those qualities. And none of us is exactly equal to the other. Someone is more compassionate in terms of capacity. Someone is more kind. Someone is more charitable. There are immense differences, which is that this is a combination. But nevertheless, we are a combination of these qualities, as we are a combination of our RNAs in our DNA. Basically, the components are the same, but the way that they're combined are different. In a way, in the spiritual realities. Yes, your hand is up, Alex, please.
It's like
Alex.
you first.
Thank you. I'm thinking about I was hearing Payam speaking, and I'm thought about your daughter. Here in Portuguese, we can see a very strange thing in terms of grammatical, because your daughter is the same person today, but in that time, and as you and me and everyone, when I was a child, obviously we are the same person, but in different conditions. Because when I was a child, I thought different, I felt different, and things. So I was, and so every day we are different people every day. Even we are the same person. It's a very difficult to understand sometimes, because in English the verb is the same, to be. I was, and Payam speak very well. Uh, Condition and the statement, the essence and the state. In the Greek philosophy, it was a discussion. It was there was a discussion about the essential of things, and Democritus says that the uh, you never wash yourself in the same water, in a river, because each second the water is another water, and the same river, the river is the same, but the water is different. Each time you were a different person, even you were the same essential. So it's very strange. Just because I say that in Portuguese, it's interesting to separate the verb to be in those situations.
I'm so grateful. I love to listen to music, and it's like I am. And I am grateful because I am listening to live music. And I have the artists here with me now. So beautiful. Yeah, how this goes. Even though we have maybe a structure and we plan whatever, let it flow. It's so beautiful. And what Payam said about the cells, I envision the human body. So we began one, two cells forming. Why there are so many organs? The heart, the lungs, the kidneys, the stomach, the intestines, the brain, and so on. So from the same cell, even our cell inside is not like just one. We are a multitude. And all this multitude, this universe, works together to do one thing. Discover who am I? And you say, who am I or who are we? Am I one or more? So it's so much greater than one, and it's a progressive elevation because we continue to evolve. It's so much beautiful when you go deep. We as a humans are like the organs, and eventually the collective is like the body. So much beautiful. Just to point out about the prophecy. So now it's coming the spirit of the critic. Because when you prophesy something, so like you said, Payam, in the German Templars, right? They discovered from the Bible that the return of Christ is coming in 1844. So when there is a calculation, everybody in a certain way can calculate and make it happen. So a prophecy can also be done or manufactured. So let's say we are building a new community, the return of Baha'u'llah. And we, through generations are going to secretly prophesize in a certain way between us in the written book that Baha'u'llah is coming again in 2000, whatever. So once someone knows about this prophecy can be manufactured. So how can we understand that this prophecy is really coming from God and not something that is actually man-made? Because they knew that was coming. So they went there and they built the houses. They prepared everything. The show was there, right? So I am the critic, and I like to put this critic to contest. So we challenge also ourselves, so we get better trust. Please.
Yes, I don't think that there isn't anything to be challenged here, because the Bible has been written thousands of years before. I mean, if they calculated that Jesus is coming in 1844 after Christ, so let's say the Bibles were written 200 years after, so they are understanding this before, not after. They are, let's say, before that date, they calculate, they understand, and they realize that this is the date that, so cannot be manufactured. How can it be manufactured? It can be manufactured afterwards. Me and you can sit down and say, yes, let's write down in whatever text that in 200 years or whatever, a new manifestation will come. So what is the guarantee that this in 200 years is going to happen? So we'd have no guarantee, and but the Bible has been written 1,500 years before, at least, and in that text there was mention of this date, so it was nothing to be fabricated. It was there. The same thing in the Quran, which was written again 1,200 and 300 years ago, or more, 400 years ago. Again, there is a precise indication to that. In fact, there was some branch of Islam also, the Sheikhis, that they discovered that, there was this teacher said, in the year 60, which is 1,216 of the Islamic era, the promised one will come. So these are things that are based on the Quran and based on the Bible, which are prior to the coming of the manifestation. It's not something that is fabricated. So it's, in a way, we are talking about the texts that we all accept. It's Daniel who's, for example, in the Bible talks about this date and the second coming of Jesus, and based on his saying, and based on the Bible, and based on the Quran, this date, and actually 1844 after the birth of Jesus, and 1,260 after the coming of the Islamic era, that this date occurred, and both concur on this date, the Quran and the Bible. And actually, that is the start of the Baha'i faith and all this. But generally speaking, these are things that are based on the books that we all accept. It's not something that we fabricate. And these books are written, we all accept Daniel, we all accept Prophet Muhammad and the Quran. So this is not something that's fabricated by some people that they wanted that this might happen. This is written in the books that has been written hundreds of years before about the future, which concerns us now. At the time that they were written, it had no consequence for the people who were living at that time. Just imagine 1,400 years ago, what would have been the difference, knowing that in 1844 there will be the return of another manifestation? There's no relevance in their life in that moment. that moment, what was relevant in their life was the teachings of Jesus Christ, which they had to really understand and apply in their lives and live according to that, and try to and actually recognizing that truth was a challenge and their task for them, and what was the purpose. For us now, it becomes relevant because now we are living in a time that that prophecy had come to pass, and the time has come to maturity, and now this is what it is. Anyway, but this is one of the elements. The other element, which is very, very interesting, is the word of God, which is expressed by the manifestations of God. This is something that has power and has so much energy in it. Actually, that is what transforms the world. It's in a way like the light of the sun in spring, which makes life to appear from something that we think is, there's no life there anymore. And all of a sudden, through this power, the energy that is released by this power of the word of God that is released into this world and is given to mankind, because this is for all mankind. So what happens is that this transformation comes. You know, in the physics, we all know that nothing comes from nothing. So everything has a reason. So if something is in motion, doesn't stop just because there needs to be a power that, or a force that stops it. Or if an object is not in motion, it doesn't move unless there's a power that applied to it, so makes the object to move. So for something to happen, state to change, energy is needed. So for this mankind, in order to evolve and in order to progress, spiritual energy is needed. And this is the release of the word of God into human reality, let's say physical reality, by the manifestations of God, always has been and always will be. Now, so far, we have been given these words. You know, we can rely on Gita, on Avesta with Zoroaster, or on the Old Testament, New Testament, the Holy Quran, and the writings of Baha'u'llah. So these are all energies that have been released in the past times. Today and in the future, there will be more energy that will be released into mankind so that mankind can progress. This is the fuel that enables progress to happen. Yes, Alex.
This is serving so well, because I made 4 points: the prophecy, his life of the manifestation, the works and the words, and the claim. And when I see all those 4 points, I see that when we were speaking about the surface, when we see about the prophecy and his life, what he did, like maybe, and the claim, I think it's very superficial. And when you said that you jump from 1 to 3, so the written word, you disregarded the others, because eventually that is the inner spirit. That is my daughter beyond the painting. So why should we speak about how not good is the painting, or why should we try to? We need to go inside the painting. So the written words, right? That is the most important thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I said, yeah, it's not the most important things. First of all, let's clarify this, that all the 4 elements, all they need to be there. We can't just rely on one of them. It's a combination of the 4. So the four elements need to be there in order that we can recognize the manifestation of God. So many people, for example, let's say, I don't know, Rumi was a wonderful philosopher, spiritual leader, a guru, a spiritist, call him whatever, but he never claimed to be a manifestation of God or talking about God. He just said, this is what I understand and this is what I tell you. And what he said still today inspires us. And it's wonderful, like what Allan Kardec has said, many things can inspire us and be with us and help us to develop our potential as spiritual beings. However, the idea of the claim is very specific, as I said. Not many people. Gandhi was another wonderful human being who inspired millions of people to live a better life, a spiritual life, the life of the spirit. But he never said, I'm a manifestation of God. And he has books that he has written. So this is all a combination of the four. So we're not saying, oh, okay, disregard the others, this is most important, disregard the others. So they all need to be there, and the combination of the four points to something.
Arif?
Well, let me speak something. I guess it's interesting. Many people is waiting for a salvation. Someone, a special someone like Jesus, to come here and to save everybody. More or less like if Jesus will come in a spaceship and say, "Come on, guys, enter in the spaceship and let's go back. Let's go back to the spiritual world." In this case, when you expect for external salvation, we are in a bad condition to forget what you can do. Jesus say the God's kind the kingdom, the God's kingdom, is into yourself. What does it mean? It means that the perfection is not coming from external to you. It's inside you to manifestate outside you. So, of course, I think we are here in the earth like children in a school. In a school, we need the teachers, the teacher and the professor and someone to administer, to manage the school. But we think that who is a student today will be next a new teacher in another school or in the same school. So what I want to say, I want to say that it's good. It's good to think that God will send to us manifestation of God or professor or superior spirits to come to be born in earth and to help us, to lead us. We need inspiration, of course. We need external inspiration because we need to learn with others. It's interesting, but nothing can do what you must do. You need to manifestate yourself. So Jesus and Bible say, bright your lights, bright, uh, turn on your lights, and shine around you, shine your light. Of course, first I need to build my lights. I need to create my light to 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 acquire this light. So I need to get my own light, but uh, I don't want to. I don't. It's not interesting, and it's not good to be waiting for a miracle, for example. So we need to go up. We need to progress. We need to be things better, and uh, of course, in Baha'i faith, there's a there's a special being like a manifestation of God, and I'm sure I'm not a manifestation of God in that thing, in those terms. I'm a very common person, but I can think that I I can and I must to do better than I do today. I there is a new version of me in the future. I can achieve this. So let's go on. Let's do it now. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not a manifestation of God, but I can do. I can be inspired for these teachings of Jesus, of Buddha, of Baha'i faith, or everyone, as I consider a good person, a manifestation of God. Let's say. So I can be inspired for these people, for these teachings. So the message is let's do more, let's to be better, because the world needs us. If I have this consciousness now, it's just because I'm I'm now better than I was before. So if I have this consciousness and I want to be better, I know I can be better. Let's do it. Let's make different, because the world need. I hear Payam speaking, and I feel he's a good person. I feel goodness inside him, and I hear you, Alex. I see a good person, that someone who is looking for more, looking for a better thing, a better world. So let's do it. Let's show. Of course, someone can tell us you are not perfect. You have so many imperfections. So maybe someone can say to you, but one day I saw you did you made a very bad thing. Okay, before I was in that condition, but now I'm in a new condition, and my thought is different. Uh, I made so many bad things, but now I want to be better. I want to make do so. I think today, my friends, I see the materialism uh, is growing up. Is I remember the Platon with this allegory of the caves, the Plato's cave. Is a picture of the materialism that we're seeing today. Every bar in the world think about money, think about uh, uh, celebrities or illusions of the world. So when I when I hear about spirituality, as you, Alex, because you are very young, younger, so younger than me, and I feel happy because I see so young as you is looking for something more than this material world, and it gives me happiness. So we need to give this message to other peoples, even we are not perfect, we're not like Baha'i faith consider a manifestation of God, but we can be a kind of manifestation of God. Doesn't matter the title, doesn't matter the, the, the classification, but we can do better. Let's do it because the world needs us. And I think Baha'i faith, when Baha'u'llah, when he came to this world and he gave his message, is think about this. Uh, uh, let's say, let's think, let's imagine he is speaking and transmitting to other people. Uh, Please became a, um, a voice of God, became a manifestation of God, and do be better. It's not magically. It's not with a. Uh, it's not instantly. It's not by now, just now. No, it's not magical. It's a process, but let's do it. Let's do it. Is I think that Jesus Bahadu, uh, every one of the manifestation of God is waiting for us in these terms.
Wow. Wow. Uh, uh, hello? Okay, I'm here. So,
Yes.
um, I'm here. Thank you for the compliment, Ariane. Actually, I'm here thanks to my wife, Chantel, and thanks to her, she's taking care of the children. If it's not, I wouldn't be here. So energy is also shared, and I believe you are too. So this is something that it's a collective process. And I also say to my wife, because sometimes she tells me, "You said that yesterday." I told her, "Today I'm different." And I like this. You said the new version of myself. And I always tell her that, and everyone, please speak to me as I am someone new for you today, because I'm always changing. My mindset is changing, and it doesn't mean what I said yesterday. I totally agree with that. I changed that. So this is something that sometimes people say, people don't change, but actually, who is saying that doesn't? People change. Who claim that don't want to. And also, you spoke about Payam Gandhi and Rumi and also Allan Kardec. And even though they didn't claim to be, they are beautiful inspirators. The question is this: uh, Baha'u'llah writings are deep. There is Baha'u'llah, there is Abdul Baha, and there is more following till the present day, because eventually there is the House of Justice as well speaking, right? So why should I read any other books beyond the manifestation? And I mean, even the other manifestations. Because if you look at all the books, at all the holy books, they are already and too much for someone in one life. So why should I look into all the books when I can eventually look into one, which is a kind of summary of all? And then, if we go outside of the manifestations, there are those beautiful inspirators. Why should we actually give time to them instead of reading a passage from the Bible or from the Kitab Yadas? So it's a question that I know that our time is getting limited more and more because we have so many distractions. But so we need to use our time well. So what is your recommendation? Should we just stick to the books of the Baha'i faith?
Interesting question. But before we go into that, I liked very much what Eri said, that we are here to gather our light. We need to shine. It's a beautiful, and I think that all three of us agree here. And what we are doing here, if you're talking about the manifestations, is because the manifestations are the source of light so that we can gather the light and we can shine. So they come here not that we worship them or we are saved or something or a miracle. It's just because they shine so that we can shine. We can gather our light and we can shine. And this is how it is, in a way, a manifestation of the love of God for us. This is what it is. And their purpose is like the doctor, which looks at mankind, sees, okay, this is the remedy, I'm giving you the remedy. So, but it's up to us to take it. It's up to us to act upon it. And definitely, I agree 100% with Eri that we need to do it. We need to shine. We need to live. We need to be what the manifestations have said. So basically, it is up to us to make it happen and make what has been said in the Bible, in the Quran, or in the books of that Baha'u'llah has written a reality. We need to translate that vision that Jesus gave 2,000 years ago, Muhammad gave 1,400, or Baha'u'llah is giving us today, into reality, into what is today. And only we can do this. And this is our role. And we need to really be very conscious. And whatever we do, it needs to that. So this discussion and the idea of the manifestations is not to be saved. That, okay, I believe in a manifestation, therefore I'm saved. It's not such a thing at all. It's actually, okay, I believe that this is a good project, so let me go and work for it. Let me do it. Let me make it happen. Let it be the center of my life, the focus of what I am doing. Of course, this is important. Of course, this is important. So going to the question of the reading only the holy books, obviously, at one point, I need to have an idea of what I need to be the focus of my life. But then the only reading the holy books is, in a way, disregarding our human side. Our human side requires books that are logic, they are science, they are open our mind, they inspire us. We need poetry to feel the beauty that is around us and look at the nature and read the nature. And that is another book of God. So, Alex, I think that we need to look at everything and we should not neglect anything. It's not enough only to read the holy books. The holy books are very important to read. And actually, Baha'u'llah says, read every day a passage or something that inspires you as much as you want. Everyone has a different appetite, right? Someone eats a bit less, something eats a bit more. It depends on your appetite. Read as much as you think it's enough for you. But then we need to also, as Eri was saying, really be versed in sciences. And if we want to make the reality around us a better reality, shouldn't we be informed of sciences which help us to do that? So it is important that we open our mind. We are open to everything. We have no prejudice against anything. And with an unbiased mind, look at things to see what can help us to achieve what we are here to achieve in a way, which is at one level our own development. But this is maybe could be a topic for the next time to see how humanity as a collective can progress and what is the next stage in our evolution as collectively. We know that we can evolve, and the human being of today actually has a lot more knowledge than the scientists of 800 or 1,000 years ago. Really, a schoolboy of 15-year-old knows more than scientists of 1,000 years ago because the amount of knowledge that we have has progressed so much. However, this is individual level. So now collectively, where are we going? What are we doing? And what is the picture? What word? Is it enough to be just good people? If we're all good people, are we going to evolve into a better society or not? This is a question that maybe we can explore together.
Wow, Payam. So beautiful about the collective, but I'm going to leave it at the end. Because you said also something, the instrument that eventually our duty is to be the instrument of peace. And I believe the holy books are that once we understand them, it's how can I become the instrument of peace? Please tell me. So that is written, and you can follow. And when you said about the books that we should eventually read all, and of course I said, oh, what? You know, it's like reading the library, all the library. But then there is the timing. Everybody has his own timing, and someone choose that shelf, that line, that color, that book, and that is the right time to read that book. And it doesn't mean that everyone should begin from that book, because I, as Alex, needed that book today, and tomorrow I need another book. And it doesn't mean you need to go from the first to the last. Sometimes there is no pattern. You cannot understand it. Or maybe once you understand it, because you read them all. And when you said about the collective evolution and the power of the collective, I saw a science documentary that NASA used a group of satellites and made them as one big satellite, as a whole Earth satellite, to look beyond what they can look. And it means that now we are reaching light years from Earth. So that is the power of the collective. We can see it in science. Once all the electrons flow together and charge up, we have this beautiful light source. So much beautiful. And I am very keen to look forward to this understanding how we can, as a collective, support each other, like my wife supporting me right now, to do this. And you also too. I'm not doing this alone. So we already are a kind of collective. We are 3 satellites, maybe 4, 5, whatever they are in your circles. But what does it mean when we are thousands, or millions? Now we are billions. I cannot believe. It's beyond my imagination. Saying one word, love. Let's say love instead of making a silence. When there is this ritual that someone and we make this silence, let's make one word and say it together. The whole word, love, peace, and let us be heard. So much beautiful. Please, Sarah, it's all on you.
Well, definitely to hear Payam and to hear you, Alex, it's a good inspiration to me. And I think so much. I thank you so much for this opportunity. And this is the message. This is the message. Let's doing. Let's making. As Payam say, uh, it's not enough to read a book uh, or that book or those books, but the job is, the challenge is to do better day by day. This is the good challenge of us, and all of us can be better. So let's do it. This is the message.
Short and sweet. And you know what,
Yes.
Ari? You and Payam are two of my books right now. Because I don't see just papers. I see books into people. And I prefer to read them with you. Because this is
It's your
something.
kindness.
Yeah, but it's the reality, yeah. I love to read alone and in solitude, in peace. But in certain way, I love to read with you together in a collective because it makes it more different. It's something beyond just me. And while you read, I read something different. If I was alone, I would be just me. And that is very limited. That's why what we are doing here, please, whoever is willing to join us in this reading, okay, please come and join us. Payam and we are in Malta, and eventually Ari is in Brazil. But it doesn't mean we can do it physically. We can do it electronically. And something that Payam didn't say, that Baha'u'llah came at the time of telecommunications. So the prophecy was because now we can use this tool to go beyond and work on the collective, like we are already doing. So that is, with the Bible, they already knew that we are going to have internet nearly after 1844. So,
But excuse me, my friend. By the way, will be a pleasure to one day, if it's possible, to receive you here in Brazil. And so it will be a pleasure to me. You and Payam.
wow.
Thank you
It
very
would
much
be
for the invitation. You are invited to Malta too, right? So whenever you would like to come here, we'll be so happy to see you. But let's see this. But this is very interesting. Baha'u'llah says, "Let each morning, each day be better than it's yesterday." So this is exactly what we were saying, right? So we need to really. This is if a message needs to go out at the end of this conversation, maybe is this one, that let tomorrow be better than today, for us, in terms of being and in terms of doing.
Beautiful. So let's end this conversation here. Thank you all for being here, those who eventually are with me now and even then. So please, your interactions are important for us also to continue doing this, even though we are doing it also for our progression, but it's our duty to share it. So that's why you are also invited too. So let's end this here. Thank you very much. So much beautiful. And next time we'll see what kind of a conversation will happen. And surely we are going to speak about the collective. Okay. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Alex,
much.
for everything. Thank you, Eri, for being here with us and for being patient and listening to the words that I've been saying. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless.
Also, me, my friend, thank you very much. And good luck for everyone.
Thank you.